In last week's video, we told you how we'd sailed across from Sicily, from Porto, over to Valletta. It was quite a rough start at the beginning, and we ended up being over an hour late. But there's a reason for that. And in this week's video, we're going to tell you what that reason is. Yep, it was self-inflicted. It was my faux pas, and I'll stick my hand up. But I did manage to get a nice pint of Guinness and fish and chips in Malta before we headed off across the Mediterranean 184 miles via the island of Leonosa. And of course, in the meantime, you've seen our chain video. And so this one is the last leg as we leave Malta for sunny Tunisia. Enjoy the video, guys. Stick with us to the end. So as I said last week, we'd left Porto in southeast Sicily following a recheck of the weather. It looked like the window for us to go was good. We left a couple of hours later than I'd liked. That lovely stainless steel chain just comes up so nice, straight in the locker. No bending down to wiggle around piles of chain. And it's shiny. Anyway, I digress. So the first couple of hours of the crossing were quite lumpy. The swell wasn't particularly big, only about 0.8 of a metre. That's something like a yard or 3 foot high. This part of the Med is quite shallow, and the short wave period means that the waves, well, they appear bigger than they are, and they certainly are very close together. But when we were about an hour and a half out of Valletta, our engine started to surge on and off, and straight away I knew there was something wrong with the fuel supply. Our pre-filter had picked up some muck and a little water, and our water separator had picked up quite a bit. I managed to drain it out and we got going again, but at one point we were doing 1.5 knots backwards, even with the sails up. There must have been quite a strong current. With the island of Malta in the distance, we managed to kind of limp on a little bit, keeping the engine down to 1800, 2000 RPM. There was no more surging, but clearly I'd got some water in the tanks. The first time in 45 years of owning my own boat. I was really surprised, and for a while I couldn't work out how we'd managed to get water in. It's one thing that we're very, very careful about, and I'm particularly vigilant normally with making sure that the tanks are kept full so we don't get condensation, and the fuel goes through filters in order that we don't get a contaminated tank. But like I said, it was my faux pas. I know. Well, that's where we are now. Should be arriving at 1903. It's now 1740. That's 5:30 to you and me. We stopped for half an hour. The engine started struggling. We were down to 1/4 of a tank of fuel, and I knew that was okay because we got 80 litres in reserve. And then the engine almost cut out, and then it revved back up, and then it cut out. And I've just been down and checked the visual filter, which is the first filter. It's what I call the pre-filter on the tank, and it's got muck in it. So it looks like at some point we've got some muck. The last place we filled up was Rochella, but I mean, there's a lot of big diesel boats there, so it may have been somewhere before that, which was where? Yeah, Malta. But that came out of a tanker. Unless we got, I don't know. Anyway, whatever it was, I've checked it, I've had a look. We got it going again. I will take all the filters off. Oh, he's noisy. Bugger. Yeah. Yes. Go to a working channel. Thank you. Yeah, sorry, where was I? Yeah, so I've got all clean filters with us. We could have stopped and done it at sea. I've put 40 litres in the tank. So we are okay. We're running again, but we've lost half an hour. So back up to, what are we? 2000 RPM. Going quite slow for 2000 RPM. I can't think why. But let's have a look at the scores on the doors, as they say. 47 nautical miles, 8 miles to go, so about an hour, which is what it's telling us so far. Average speed 6.5, and that's with a half an hour stop. Well, actually we didn't stop because I put the jib up and we were doing 1.5 knots. Anyway, 7 hours and 12 minutes, and we've got another hour to run, so we'll have a look at what that's like when we get there. I think Cindy's just told me she caught the sunset, so that will be good. We'll put that on in a minute and have a look. And meanwhile, we've just got a signal from Malta, but we can't find our SIM card, our Maltese SIM card. It's in a safe place. Hey ho. Right, I will give you a rundown of how it went and the final numbers when we get there. It's getting dark. Got some lights on now, and I'll let you know what it was. It wasn't a bad run over, apart from this morning. It was a bit rough, but more about that later. So we stayed 5 days in Malta. I got all the diesel filters changed and filled up with diesel, and I managed to get a Guinness and a decent fish and chips. And now I'll tell you what the problem was, and you can have a good laugh at my expense. So when we left Malta, I wasn't able to get the fuel I needed from the tanker. They were taking hours and hours, and we needed to get going because we were heading across back up to Sicily. So our friend Andy, on Tula, lent me some cans so that I could go and fill up with diesel. And I did that, getting 140 odd litres. When I got back, I went and handed him the cans back, and he said, "What's that funny blue stuff in the bottom of my water cans?" "Oh," I said, "I thought you realised I was getting diesel." Anyway, somehow in the confusion, Andy thought I was going to get water and had given me his water cans. I'd filled them up with diesel, not bothering to look inside, and promptly put them in my diesel tank. And I think between the two 20-litre cans, there must have been a bit of water in the bottom, and of course I hadn't checked it. I poured the whole lot straight in, not even thinking about it. Well, they're diesel cans, they won't have water in them. Anyway, that's the only way we think we can have got water into the diesel tank. Now, I should have checked. And as it happens, I had to go and buy Andy some new water cans because I'd contaminated his, and I've now got his old cans on my boat. And when I checked them the other day, they still had a bit of water in the bottom, underneath the diesel that's in the bottom as well. So there you go. It was my cock up. It's funny what you do when you're, not thinking. And with having to rush back to the UK, the last month or so has been a bit stressful, especially with the chain not turning up thanks to FedEx. It's cost us a lot of money, and it cost us a lot more when we got to Malta. But that, as they say, is another story. Anyway, that's how we got water in the tank. I pumped all the bottom of the tank out using my oil extractor and managed to get about half a litre out, as well as the half a litre I'd got into the jam jar. by using the little drain plug on the bottom of our water separator. I changed the pre-filter and the water separator filter and the main filter, and checked them after we'd run the engine for a little while, and there was no issues. What I think has happened is that as we had that rough crossing at the beginning, it stirred up what little water there was in the bottom, and because we had next to no diesel in there, which wasn't a problem, it just went up the pipe and into the filters. Anyway, we've flushed all the system through and it's all good, and the engine's running perfect. I also treated it to a new oil filter and another oil change, so it's had 2 oil changes this season, and we've only done about 200 hours. Anyway, that's it. That's how I cocked up. That's it.
Bye Malta.
Goodbye Malta for another year.
Well, 6 months.
6 months. It's easy for you to say. We headed round to the south of the island so we could get a good start nice and early the following morning. This was the only weather window within about 2 weeks, according to Windy. Well, that's it. We're away from Malta. Somebody with a shotgun up there. Lovely sunrise. We're not quite halfway, but that's Leonosa in the distance, if you can just see it. It always looks like 2 islands. We're about 20 odd miles away. The wind has gone. There is wind on the water way over there, but otherwise none at all. Our ETA is 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. But, so far it's been very quiet. It was a fast crossing, pretty uneventful, 28 hours, but the next morning it really did get a bit rougher. But we were soon back in lovely Tunisia. From St George's Bay in the south of Malta to Monastir was 28 hours or so. It's the fastest crossing we've ever had, and we actually got some good numbers, especially when we got to the little islands just off Monastir. We were flying along, and the seas were quite big. When we got to Monastir and finally got a SIM card and a connection the next day, we found out that our daughter's operation had been pulled forward 10 days, and so we immediately had to get Cindy a flight back to the UK, with me following on a week later. And so by the time you get to see this on YouTube, I'll be back in the UK. And Impavidus, well, she'll be sitting in the marina, waiting for us to return.